Hey, we got Cory freaking Sandhagen on here.
Exactly.
What's up, Cory?
Cory, we were just talking about the latest Australian sensation called Run It. It's a sport where two people just run at each other head first.
With a
have you seen this?
Hell yeah, no.
Yeah. You don't want to see it. You don't want to see it. Brother, we had to get you on today and talk about that performance at the weekend. Holy shit. I said it to you in the octagon. There was a different version. I mean, you were in total control. You were nasty. You were mean. You were trying to finish from the outset. It was a really tough opponent. You made it look easy. I mean, holy shit, Cory. That was sensational.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. I appreciate you noticing that. I mean, I've been really working my butt off. Like, I wouldn't put it in maybe. I mean, definitely technically, but like the work, I guess, that I'm putting in, I guess could be factored under like mental work or whatever, or becoming mentally better or whatever. But I almost feel like it's like personality, like deep character stuff that I've really had to work on in the last bit, and I'll give a lot of credit to Trevor Wittman for helping me out with a lot of that stuff, and Carrington Banks, but a really noticeable change has happened inside of like my personality after working with Trevor. I kind of just like Trevor's really big on, hey man, let yourself be confident, be confident when you say this, when you like say this with some chest, and all of that stuff. And so I kind of just been trying to do that, even though it's really uncomfortable for me just because I'm a little bit more of a humble guy. But yeah, I'm kind of just letting myself be a lot more confident. And so it's cool that you're picking up on it because sometimes I don't know.
No, dude, it's clear your whole presence for all your media stuff, even just speaking to us, everything about it. It's clear that you're ready for the time. You've had a lot of big, awesome fights with really top contenders over the years, and some have been wins, some have been losses, but you've been pretty open about how that's only just made you a better fighter and a better person. But just talk to us about how that change in attitude, and after that performance, that it's time for you to be next in line.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I wanted to go out and finish Figgy. I said that I was going to finish him. And I said it with some chest like Trevor told me to do. So I was like, all right, fuck it. We're finishing this fight, like, no, like, don't be cerebral, Cory. Like, don't be like, well, Figgy's good too. And, like, let's just go out and finish him. Let's see if this shit works, So I knew that I had to go out and win big and dominate. There was a lot of grappling. I wasn't anticipating that. I knew that he was going to try to wrestle me, but I thought for the most part it would be a stand-up fight. But he was wrestling me, and then I was kind of just reversing him. And I mean, what am I going to do? Like, not be on top and like keep hitting him the way that I was able to. So yeah, it kind of turned into a fight like that, which I wasn't really expecting. And yeah, I mean, I think the only other guy in the conversation right now is Jan. And Jan fought him not too long ago, and he went 5 rounds, and it was a really competitive fight. Yep. I knew if I go out there and I finish Figgy and I dominate him the way that I did and get a finish, that I would be the next guy fighting for the belt, or at least have a fair shake at, being able to say that with some confidence. And I definitely earned that.
Well, I would be shocked, to be honest, if you weren't the next guy. I can't think of anyone else that deserves it more than you. And certainly after that performance, I was shocked that Figgy was playing the leg lock game. We all know in this day and age in mixed martial arts, that's a very, very dangerous strategy. But I just want to touch on what you were saying there a second ago about the work that you're doing with Trevor Wittman, because I always said this when Jason Perillo, my coach, he was a very good boxing coach and all that type of stuff. That was all well and good. And I learned a lot, don't get me wrong. But our best work was always after the training session. I'd be sitting in a pool of sweat on the floor, and he'd sit down next to me, and we'd talk about the mentality, talk about my emotions, talk about how I was going to approach this fight. And that is the stuff that changed me as a fighter. You get plenty of pad men out there that can hold pads, but a real trainer, a real coach, a real mentor to take you through this journey is so valuable. Can you just elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah, definitely. I like the words that you used. You said like it changed me, it doesn't just change like the way that you view the sport. It like changes who you actually are. I think when you get a really seasoned and really good coach who you can really trust, and I've been around the sport for a really long time now, and sometimes I can be a little bit of a know-it-all or have been known to. So when I'm working with someone new, I'm not just going to start believing what you say, you know, like, but it took me a while kind of to just kind of surrender to it and just be like, all right, Banks, Trevor, you guys got this. Like, I'll let you guys mold me into what you guys need to make me in order for me to be a champ. And I'll just listen to you. And a big piece of that is Trevor like didn't shake me and was like, dude, be more confident. You know, he was just more like, hey man, like, it's okay to be confident. Like, you can be confident. It's okay. Like, I grew up where I was not allowed to be arrogant at all. My parents just raised me like that. Like, hey man, when you do something good, you do it behind doors. When you win, you don't like shoot people down. You don't do it. So that's just how I was raised, you know? So that's kind of built inside of me. But just letting myself be like, hey dude, I am one of the best fighters on the entire planet and maybe in all of humanity, you know, like, and just like be able to say that and be okay with that and understand that that's something that, one, I'm very lucky to be able to do because I'm healthy and, you know, I had an upbringing that let me be athletic and I have all of these other things, but also, man, like I worked my butt off in order to be that too. So yeah, he's just helping me get like a better idea of like my specialness, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's always awesome when you finally kind of connect with somebody that brings that out of you, right? Because it is tough, and I can relate to that, Cory. Whereas you're kind of taught to not do that, but you can find a way to do that and have that confidence and bravado and not be a dick, basically. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like that's exactly what you're doing, where you're just owning up to what you have what you've shown and what.
Because it's a wild statement to say, hey, I'm one of the best fighters
be one of the best
world.
ever.
Yeah,
to most people, you are a cocky, arrogant bastard to say that.
Yeah.
But that's what you got to think.
But you're literally a professional prize fighter who is at the top of a division. So it's like you are. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And yeah, you know, like I'm just letting myself do that for the first time, which is cool, you know, and it's just making me be a lot more open with who I am too. Like online and all of that stuff, which is
that's what I wanted to ask you about. So just let's talk about that a little bit, because you're clearly a pretty funny guy and you've got funny people around you, and you are finally getting onto the social media and getting just funny, stupid, ridiculous, and gold, bro. It's gold. As somebody who liked you anyway and loved your performances and kind of gelled with who you are as a person, but to see you showing up in puffy stuff and being like, I don't know, man, this doesn't feel like me. Hilarious.
Yeah.
So, like, how did that all come about?
Well, I have a rule where I can only make fun of someone else if I make fun of myself 5 times before that. So that's kind of the way that I'm figuring out how to navigate not being a douchebag. But yeah, I mean, I kind of have like a weird, it's not even weird. I think it's just like, it's actually funny stuff, but actually funny stuff to me is kind of inappropriate and like borderline not okay to do, or just really silly and really stupid. So I'm trying to figure out how to do that. I also only really used sense of humor in the past to like get women. And now that I've been married for a long time, I'm like,
you don't need to do it.
Yeah. I'm like, why? I was like, why would I be funny? That's so much energy, you know, like,
yeah.
So yeah, I guess, and it's just really dry. Like I can't make jokes without some rapport with people, just because it's super dry and it comes across really mean, and it's got me in a lot of trouble in the past. So I kind of have that going on too, but yeah, I'm enjoying it. It's been fun. And I kind of am in a place where I have a lot more energy to do that kind of stuff. Before it was just like a pain in the ass. And now I feel like it's just I just have like more natural energy for it.
Yeah. So we're going to make you live through one of those videos. If anyone hasn't seen them, Brian, just in the little chat there, buddy, there's a link to one of the videos that Harrington put in, because these are funny and it's great because I love what you're doing. You're just like, I understand that you're mocking these people that are big on social media and stuff and having it from your own kind of angle. This is great.
Things just regarding the brand, what it means to build one, who I am as a brand. And I mean, we've landed on this today. I mean, I'm not super into it, but I'm not going to act like I know any better. All I really like to do is fight. And I wish that that's all that mattered, but I guess I got to be this also. So I don't know. I guess it's fine. Me and him, we get together.
Oh, mate, who came up with that idea?
Dude, that was me. That was me because everyone tells me I need to work on my brand and all of that shit. But also, I don't know if you watch South Park or not, but South Park has a really good episode on building a brand that I kind of drew a little bit of inspiration from. But yeah, I just think that the world that we live in is a weird ass place, and especially me just being like a normal guy inside of like having to kind of be a little bit of a public figure. If I could laugh at myself from like an outsider, like look at what the is happening to Cory right now, like that would be super funny.
And then you were sitting down with Oscar Willis and like doing like the
your therapy
doing the therapy session about your dead dog and stuff. Yeah, no, awesome, mate.
R.I.P. Rover.
Let me ask you, Merab Dvalishvili, Sean O'Malley #2. You're going to get the winner more than likely. I mean, I'd put money on it. I'd make a bet. Who wins that fight? Who are you facing?
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's going to look pretty much the same as the first one, most likely. And that's kind of just being that O'Malley was couched probably for like 2 of however long that was stint in between their first fight. But man, I just don't really see O'Malley being able to get good enough at grappling in that time while he was hurt. I also think that Merab was getting ready for a title fight, had another title fight, is like way more experienced because that was a tough ass fight for him. And while Merab's been working and doing all this stuff, I'm sure that O'Malley has too, but there's not work like getting ready for a championship fight. There's not work like fighting for a championship belt. Like Merab got a lot more in this off time than I think O'Malley did. I also think too, though, that I'm definitely not going to count O'Malley out. I think that he's a really smart guy. And I think that he's a really he has a really good eye for the sport, so he'll probably figure out some really good stuff. So I'm not going to count him out either. And he's got big power, and Merab's a pretty sloppy striker, getting better, but still a little bit like has holes, just like we all do. But yeah, I mean, my money would be on Merab, but I'm certainly not counting O'Malley out either.
Yeah. And
what do you guys think? Are you guys allowed to say?
I'm not calling it. I'm not calling it. And I would say your assessment is pretty damn spot on, just because of injuries from Sean, having time where he's been not necessarily in the gym pushing that kind of I got a 5-round title fight pace on the line. And Merab is he's nuts. That's all he's doing. Do you know what I mean? Especially if he's not hurt or out. That's all he's doing is focusing on getting ready and beating a guy like Sean again, you know? And I think you present problems in a way, especially after that showing with Figgy, where so much of it was in the ground, was in the transitions, was sneaky kind of 50-50, like leg lock game. Like that stuff that like you just did on Saturday, where you submitted him via knowing where the legs need to be at the right time to force something to pop, and him making a mistake on that. That's high level jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah. You know what else I heard Sean O'Malley say too recently, where I was kind of like, I don't really know, is he said that he was talking, I think maybe on Ariel's show, but he was talking about how he grappled more in like the last week than he did for the entire Merab fight or something. But then he went on and was like, we just did like 6-7 minute rounds or whatever it was. And I was like, bro, you're doing the wrong type of grappling then, because it's not jiu-jitsu, dude. Like jiu-jitsu is not the answer for MMA. Wrestling is the answer for MMA. There's like small spots where like, yeah, you can like enter into certain leg entanglements kind of, and then like maybe use them to get up or whatever. But dude, like if you're wrestling, like 3 minute rounds, 3 5-minute rounds is like more than enough to get like a day's worth of work in. So I'm kind of in my head, I'm like, oh, dude, you're just doing more jiu-jitsu. Like that's not going to be the answer for beating the
same
like,
thing.
You know, like it's you know, like if you're able to go that long, you're not wrestling, you know?
Yeah. I fully agree. Before we let you get out of here, Cory, pay-per-view this weekend, Belal Muhammad, Jack Della Maddalena. Who walks away as the welterweight champion of the world?
I think Belal's gonna win that one. I think Jack's super good. He's really tough, but I mean Belal just there's something about Belal where he's able to win so dominantly, and it's not the most impressive, most fun thing to watch for some people, but dominance kind of isn't. And I think Belal will take it.
All right. There it is. Yeah. Place your bets. Cory's got Belal. Cory, congrats, man. That was a sensational performance.
When's the next dabbling in mushrooms, Cory?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I like leaning into that stuff because everyone I feel like thinks I'm like a big pothead mushroom guy, but I actually don't mess around with that stuff hardly at all. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see when the trees want to talk to me again. I don't know.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I love it though. And again, it's one of those things where you can't be doing it like too much, but as somebody that has dabbled, that would be fun. If I ever see Cory Sandhagen talking to a tree, I'm asking for some, and I'm joining you.
Right,
Cory,
thanks, guys.
Congrats on the fight.
Thanks,
good luck getting that title fight. I guarantee it's going to be next. But yeah, man, enjoy this moment. We'll talk soon.
Cool. Peace, guys.
Thanks,
Talk
buddy.
later.